Today is Monday, March the 25th, and this is the Ichimoku review, but I'm going to start with the McClellan oscillator, and you can see that we started the day with the oscillator below zero, and it was likely to continue down to this area here, as it typically does. This is its median range, its median high and low. So today we will probably see it hitting that median low. So let's just take a look at FinViz for our advances to decliners. The day finished up a little bit, so the advancers actually led the decliners. That wasn't what I saw about a half an hour ago. So we had a good turnaround in the close of the day. I just heard on CNBC, which I hate to listen to, but I was listening to it because of Apple's announcements today and what the talking heads had to say about Apple. They said that the Dow followed the Treasury index today. So that's something to watch for. It's not something I pay much attention to, but it's good to know. So let's take a look at our stocks now. Let's start with the S&P 500, and we'll look at the 5-minute, and we can see that motion that we saw today in the FinViz chart. Let's look at it on 1 day. 1 day, we're still in an upwards trend. Support should be when the Chiku comes down to about this level here, which we actually saw today. We saw the Chiku span come as low as this and get support near this candle. So there was a bounce. If you've been watching throughout the day, you would have seen that bounce off that candle. Let's look at it on the weekly again, just as a reminder. And we are inside the cloud. We've fallen inside the cloud, so we've struggled, and that's because our Chiku span has had trouble getting over the 50-day moving average. 1, 2, 3 times it was rejected. This is a weekly chart. So this is this week, last week, 2 weeks ago it was rejected. Let's now go to Apple. Apple had big announcements today in the service business. If you're an Apple fan or a follower, you were really watching that closely. Remember on the daily, we called this. We said that the 197.76 was a target, and that was going to be the bottom of the gap, and it was going to be rejected there. That happened. Friday. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly now, we're getting Chiku span support on the 200-day moving average, having trouble breaking into the cloud. This trend line is the one that I'm watching because there have been so many hits to that trend line for support. Said today that if we were going to have a pullback, it was probably going to be to the cloud, and it came close. When the Tim Cook presentation started, we watched as the candles came down, and they did actually touch the cloud or the Woody's at support level 2 on the Woody's pivot, which were at one point was just at the cloud. Now the cloud has gone a little bit lower, but at the end of the day, in the last hour, we saw the bounce directly off the 60-minute cloud, which we said was likely going to happen. If you looked at the Twitter tweets that I had earlier, I told you that we had support on this candle here earlier in the day. But if we were going to see anything of a pullback, we were going to see it to this 186.75. I told you that I would be a buyer today, and I was. I was when the candles first broke through the cloud, and then I bought some more when the Chiku span broke through the cloud. I'm holding a fairly substantial potential position in Apple because I've got 11 contracts of short 192.50 puts. If they are put to me at the end of this week, they won't be because I'll roll them no matter what. My cost, because I've been rolling these so long, would probably be, I have to take a look at my spreadsheet, but it's going to be around 182, 183. So I don't mind getting them put to me. But while I'm waiting for that and I'm still rolling those 192.5 weekly puts, I'm going to start making some profit on stock. Gold had a reasonable day, up 46 cents in a choppy market. Sorry, that was the 1-minute chart. Let's just go to the daily. There was our pop in gold, and we're coming up to this point here, right there, which is our previous close high, right there, which is what we hit today. So that was the previous high of a close. And it was also a high back here, and it was a high in this area here. So gold is showing some strength. Gold miners are showing some strength. Caterpillar showed a bounce off the bottom of the one-day cloud. It's fallen below this trend line that we were following. We're going to lose our Gartley pattern if we don't start moving up. I would worry about our Gartley pattern if we fall below this price here. Certainly if it falls below that price, we don't have a Gartley pattern anymore with a target of 149. Intel had a doji day. What do we expect to see with dojis? That's an indecision day. I'm still long and I'm not buying more. I'm not at a full position. We could see pullback to this trend line. Anything below that trend line, I'll be bailing out on it. WDC had a nothing day today. So that some people like to see Amazon. So let me go back and just show you quickly Amazon. This will be the last one. We had a 0.63% gain today. And on the daily chart, Amazon pulled back off the 8 moving average. Let's look at it on the weekly basis, still in the cloud. The Chiku span still has room to move upwards before it bumps into support. Resistance this week would be as high as 1903. Next week, resistance will be 1884, and the week after that. So, there's some opportunity to move up, but resistance right now is going to be the top of the cloud, which is going to be just at 1800.